I didn't grow up religious, so when my coworker invited me to help volunteer at her church for Easter, I only said yes because they needed extra hands. Parking, seating, handing out programs, basic stuff. It was in a small rural area about 40 minutes outside town. I drove in just in after sunrise. The place looked normal, white church, gravel lot, maybe 60, 70 people total. Nothing about it stood out at first. Inside everything felt quiet, not peaceful, just muted. People spoke in low voices like they were trying not to echo. My coworker Jenna introduced me to a few people, but something was off. Everyone was friendly, but no one asked me anything. No, where are you from? No small talk, just smiles. And one phrase I heard more than once: glad you could make it this time. I assumed Jenna had told them I was coming. I didn't think much of it until the service started. About halfway through, the pastor said they were going to do something a little different and asked everyone to step outside. Jenna told me quietly, just follow along, it's part of it. So I did. Behind the church there was a small hillside, and in it what looked like a shallow man-made cave. Not decorative, actual stone, dirt, roots. A few men had already rolled a large rock to the side. People gathered me in a semicircle. No one explained anything. The pastor said, we'll send one in. A teenage boy stepped forward, didn't look scared, just blank. He walked into the cave. We waited. It wasn't dramatic, no music, no narration, just waiting. After maybe 30 seconds, I leaned towards Jenna and whispered, what's he supposed to do? She didn't look at me. Come back out, she said. He didn't. A full minute passed, then another. People weren't reacting, no concern, no confusion. They were just being patient. Then I heard something from inside. Not loud, just movement, like fabric shifting. The boy came out, but I noticed it immediately, before I even saw why it bothered me. He wasn't breathing heavily, didn't look shaken, didn't look like anything had just happened. The pastor asked, well? The boy smiled slightly and said, it's empty. People nodded. A few even looked relieved. And that should have been the end of it. But then the pastor looked at me directly. We should have one more, he said. No one objected. Jenna finally turned to me. You can go, she said. It didn't sound like a suggestion. I laughed a little, thinking she was joking. I think I'll pass, I said. She didn't smile. You already came, she told me quietly. That's when I realized everyone was looking at me. Not aggressively, just waiting. I said something like, I'll just stay out here, and took a step back. No one moved to stop me, but no one looked away either. I don't know how to explain it, but it felt like I'd already made a mistake just by being there. I turned and walked back toward the parking lot. No one followed me. No one called after me. I got in my car and left. Jenna texted me later asking why I took off. I told her it felt weird. She said, you weren't supposed to leave early. That was it. We didn't talk much after that. About a week later, I got a message from a number I didn't recognize. Just one line. It said, next time don't interrupt the order. I never told anyone what I saw. But here's the part that bothered me ever since. I looked that church up later. Address, name, everything. There's no record of it. No website, no listing, nothing. And when I drove back out there a month later, the building was still there. But the hill behind it, completely flat. No cave, no disturbance in the dirt, like it had never even been opened. My older brother worked seasonal jobs in high school. One year he got hired to be the Easter Bunny at my local mall. At the time it seemed funny, we joked about it constantly. He didn't think it was a big deal. First week, nothing weird. Just long hours, uncomfortable costume, annoying kids. Then he started coming home, quiet. Not tired, just off. My mom asked what he was wrong with him, and he said the costume was messed up. We thought he meant dirty or worn out. He said no. It doesn't feel empty, was how he would put it. We didn't take that seriously until he stopped sleeping. I shared a room with him. A few nights in a row I woke up and he was sitting upright in bed. Not on his phone, not doing anything, just sitting there looking at the closet. I asked him what he was doing. He said, listening. I asked to what? He said, it followed me. I think he was messing with me. That one night I heard it too. I saw sound from inside the closet, not scratching, not movement, like clothes shifting. Breathing, slow, steady. I turned on the light, opened the door. nothing there, just clothes. But my brother refused to go near it after that. He started sleeping in the living room. A few days later, he quit. Wouldn't explain why, just said, "I'm done." That should have been the end of it, but after a week after he quit, something happened that I can't explain. I got home from school early. No one else was there. As soon as I walked in, I noticed the house was quiet. Too quiet. No TV, no fridge hum, nothing. Then I heard it from my brother's room, that same breathing. I stood in the hallway for a long time before opening the door. The room was empty, but the closet door was slightly open. I didn't want to look, but I did. Inside, hanging between his clothes, was the Easter bunny head, the same one from the mall. I recognized the stitching near the ear. I know he didn't bring it home. I know that. I called him immediately, asked if he took anything from work. He went silent, then said, "Don't touch it." I asked how it got here. He said, "I don't know." Then after a few seconds, he said, "If it's there, don't leave it alone." I didn't understand what he meant until that night. We heard movement again, but this time it wasn't in the closet. It was in the hallway. Soft shuffling, like something heavy being moved slowly. My dad opened the door, nothing there, but the closet in my brother's room was wide open. The head was gone. We never found it. My brother never talked about it again. We moved a few months later, different house, different town. Every year around Easter, we hear it again. Not always in the same place, sometimes in the hallway, sometimes in the garage. Once, right outside my bedroom door. That same slow breathing, waiting, like it knows we remember. And it's patient enough to come back every year. This happened when I was 15 at a public Easter egg hunt held at a local park. It was a small neighborhood thing. It was organized, lots of families, probably over 100 people there, kids everywhere, parents spread out, volunteers setting up sections by age group. I only remember all this so clearly because of what happened after. At the time, nothing seemed off. The hunt started like normal. Kids ran out, grabbing eggs, parents taking pictures, people laughing. I was there with my younger cousin, just kind of following him around, making sure he didn't wander too far. At some point, I noticed a guy standing near the edge of the field. He wasn't doing anything, just standing there. That by itself wasn't weird. There were plenty of adults around who weren't actively participating. But something about him stuck out. He didn't have a kid with him, no basket, no camera, nothing. And he wasn't watching the hunt the way everyone else was. He was watching specific kids, not in a quick glance kind of way. He would lock onto one, follow them with his eyes as they moved, then shift to another. Slowly, deliberately. I pointed him out to my friend, just joking at first, like, "That guy looks weird." We kept an eye on him for a few minutes. He didn't move much, just stood near a tree at the edge of the grass, hands on his sides, completely still except for his head turning. Then he did something that made him feel different. A little girl, probably 5 or 6, wandered close to where he was standing, chasing an egg that had rolled near the tree line. He stepped toward her, not fast, not aggressive, just timed, like he had been waiting for someone to get close enough. He bent down slightly and said something to her. We couldn't hear it. She hesitated. Then he pointed toward the trees. Not deep into the woods, just past the visible edge, like he was showing her where more eggs might be. She looked back toward the main group, then back at him, and started walking in that direction. That's when something clicked. Not panic, just the immediate sense that something wasn't right. I started walking toward them, not running. I didn't want to overreact, but I was definitely moving faster than normal. The guy saw me, and the second he realized someone was approaching, his entire demeanor changed. He straightened up immediately, took a small step back. The girl stopped walking. I got closer and said something like, "Hey, I think we want everyone to stay over here." Just trying to interrupt without making a scene. The guy looked at me for a second, didn't say anything, just nodded once, then walked away. Not quickly, not suspiciously, just turned back and went toward back the crowd. That part bothered me more than anyone. He didn't run, didn't look nervous. He acted like he belonged there. The girl ran back toward her parents like nothing had happened. I stood there for a second trying to decide if I was overthinking it. I told one of the volunteers anyway, described the guy. They said they keep an eye out. But when we tried pointing him out again, he was gone. We walked the entire parking lot too, no sign of him. That should have been the end of it, just a weird interaction. But later after the event, things got uncomfortable. One of the parents posted in the neighborhood Facebook group chat asking if anyone else had noticed a man in a gray hoodie talking to kids near the trees. Multiple people responded, not just one or two, at least 5. Different descriptions of the same behavior, same spot, same pattern. Watching, waiting, approaching kids who drifted too far from the main group. One person said he tried to get their son to help find a special egg further away from the others. Another said he claimed he was helping the organizers hide extras. No one recognized him, no one knew his name, and here's the part that stuck with me the most. One mom said her daughter described him differently. She said when the man talked to her, he smiled the entire time. Not a normal smile, not friendly. She described it like this. He didn't stop smiling even when he wasn't talking. The mom asked what he said to her, and the girl told her, he said the eggs near the trees were better. That alone is creepy, sure, but it's what she said next that made people stop replying. He said I had time if I didn't tell. Police were contacted. They took statements, but nothing came of it. No cameras caught him clearly, no license plate, nothing. Just descriptions, all slightly different. Except for a few details everyone agreed on. Gray hoodie, standing too still, watching instead of participating, and that smile. The event still happens every year, same park, same setup, but now they rope off the tree line. Volunteers stand there the entire time. And every year, without fail, someone new posts on the same group chat saying, "Did anyone else see that guy?"